From the list of St. Grace School student marks given below, draw a stem and leaf plot and a box and whisker plot. Okay, so in this video we're gonna be learning of how to draw a stem and leaf plot and a box and whisker plot when the data is given below. So here we have the St. Grace school students marks. So we have the list here. So we have 60, 42, 78, 98, 62, 32, 16, 85, 7, 90, and 54. So what I want to do now is basically, first of all, the first thing that we have to do is we have to order them before we draw the stem and leaf plot. And so the first thing we're going to do is to draw a stem and leaf plot. So first we're going to do is we're going to order the data here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be ordering the data that is given here below. So I'm going to start here with 7. The next number that is actually more than that is 16. Then next one is 32. So when the data is actually given for the students' marks, they can actually be, greater or lower than, but here it's actually like there are random marks that are given that are the marks of exam or test papers. So the next after that is 42. Then the next one number after that is 54. I'm actually cutting them because let's say that if I actually see this number and it's already noted down, if I see the next one, I would see that this one is actually this one is repeated. So just cutting them to show that I've already have listed them down. The next number after that is 60. Next one is 62. Then the next one is 78. Then next one is 85 here. Then we have 90 and 98. Right, so this is the ordered data. So this is the data that's already given. Just gonna erase those so you don't get confused. Okay, so here's the data that's already given, and here's the data that I already have ordered them from the lowest to the greatest. Now, before we draw the stem and leaf plot, what we're going to do is we're going to be finding out the mean, median, mode, and stuff like that. So first of all, let me just show it right over here. Just going to do it in red. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the mean. And I might actually need my calculator, so I'll just guys, for wait a second. Forgot to keep a calculator right next to me before recording, so sorry about the trouble, but okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be calculating the mean. Now the mean is all of the data added together divided by the number of the data. So as we can tell from St. Grace students marks as the list given below, there is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 11. So I'm just going to do that. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 11. So there are 11 student marks. So that means it's going to be these one added together divided by 11. So first thing is going to be 7. So I'm just going to typing into my calculator right now. So it is going to be 7 plus 16 plus 32 plus 42 plus 54 plus 60 plus 62 plus 78 plus 85 plus 90 plus 98. So the total number is 624, and I'm going to be dividing it by the number of the data, which is 11. So divide by 11. Our mean is 56. Oops. Is 56.72. There's a 7 next to it, so I'm just going to be writing as 73. So our mean is 56.73. The next thing is the median. Now the median, we have to use our ordered data here. If we were to do this in this one, we might actually get the answers wrong. So just as a precaution, we're going to be using the ordered data that we have already ordered them. So in order to calculate the median is we have to find the middle number. So I'm just going to be using the color here. I'm just going to use my highlighter just to highlight the numbers as I go beyond. So the first one is, oops, I think I made it too dark. Oops, that's not how it's supposed to be. So first one goes 7, so that becomes 1 on this side, 2 on the other side, 3 on the other side, 4th on the other side, 5th on the other side, and we can see clearly that the answer is 60. So the answer here is 60. I'm just going to circle it just to show that. So our median here is 60. Now we have to find the mode. Now the mode is when actually some of the numbers is being repeated. So like for example, if we have like one of the numbers like 62, if it was repeated 2 or 3 times, and if there were other numbers which are actually repeating, which is repeating the same data, then you would actually say that there is mode, and you would actually note down, like for example, if 62 is actually is 2, it's twice here, then the mode is 62. But in this data given below, there is no mode, so there's none. There's no mode at all. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to find out the range. Now the range is the key important thing, because sorry for the interruption. So now to find the range, so in order to find the range, we will have the largest number plus the smallest number divided by 2. So we'll have 98. That's weird, my created a scratch. 98 plus 7 divided by 2 is equal to, so 98 plus 7, which is 105, divided by 2 is 52.5. 52.5. Now the last thing that we need to do is we need to find the IQR, or in other words, in long term short, interquartile range. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the lower quartile, or the LQ, the upper quartile, which is the UQ, and finally is the interquartile range, which is basically the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So let's first find out the lower quartile. So now we're going to start from the number switches before. So we have so the remaining number switches on this side of this area here. So we have 7. So we have, just going to do the highlighted again. So we have 1 here, then we have 2 here. So now we can see that the low quartile is 32. Now, to find the upper quartile is on the other side of the data. So we're going to do it again. 1 on this side, 1 on this side, 2 on the other side, sorry. And the answer we get is 85. So the upper quartile is 85. The lower quartile is 32 here. To find the IQR, it is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. 85 minus 32 equals to 53. Equals to 53. Using this data here, so we are now done with calculating like the mean, median, mode, range, LQR, UQR, and IQR with the order data that is given. Now using from this, we will be able to draw the stem and leaf plot and the box and whisker plot. I think the box and whisker plot, I have to draw it on the other in a blank canvas because I don't think there's not enough space here, but I'll be drawing the stem and leaf plot. So we can use the arrange data any way you want, but I'm just going to show you guys how you actually draw it. So what you're going to do is you just have to draw a line that looks something like this. That's not a straight line. You're going to draw a line that looks something like this, and on this side you put all the numbers that's like going from 1 to something. So starting over here, so I'm going to go, so judging from this perspective, I believe it's going from 0 to 98. I'll tell you exactly why I chose 0. It goes to 90. Yeah, 9. So 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, when we order them, you can see that 7, because the reason why I actually chose 0 is because 0 is in the 10th place. So 7 is gonna go in here first. Just gonna doing an orange color. So we have 7 here. So that's done. We could actually use from any of the data here, but I'm just gonna use from this one as well. So 7 here is done. Then we have 16, means we have 6 here. 32, so we don't have anything. So we don't have anything in the that actually has tens, which has a 2. So we'll ignore that. So we'll just leave that out. We don't need to put a 0 here, otherwise it'll look like we have a 20 here, but we do not have. So we're just gonna ignore that. We're just gonna leave it out. We have 32. We have 42. 54. 60, we put a 0 here. We also have 62. 78, 8 here. 85, 5 here. And 90 is 0 and 8. And that's how you draw a stem and leaf plot. Now I'm going to be showing you guys how do you draw a box and whisker plot. And I'll have to copy the data as quickly as possible. So data that's actually given below is 7, 16, 32, 42, 54, 60, 62, 78, 85, 90, and 98. Okay, so now we have the data here. We also, the box and whisker plot we will actually need the median, the LQ, UQ, and R and IQ are. We actually need like the LQ and UQ and the median. So the median is 60. Just gonna write it over here. So the median, in other words, middle number is 60. The LQ is 32. The UQ is 85. Right, now we're gonna switch to this side here. Oops. Okay, so now I'm just gonna draw a straight line, because we will actually need a straight line for ordering the data that's actually given. Just my hands are quite slippery, so it can create some problems. It's a straight line as I've drawn, much precise as possible. So starting from here, which is 0, actually make some spaces in between. So here's 5, here is 10, here is I'm gonna do it the other way around. I'll make some spaces here so I can actually make spaces much better. So here's 0, here's 10, here's 20, here's 30, here's 40, here's 50, here's 60, here's 70, here we have 80, and finally we have 90. Actually, the 98 is kind of close to 100, so I'll also note the 100 as well. So the lowest number that we have is 7. Again, I'm going to use the orange color again. So the lowest number is 7, which is around here. So that's 7. That is the lowest number here. So this side is going to be 7. And the highest number is 98, which is kind of close to 100. So I'm going to putting it here. Thank you. Was it from the university? Yes. Thank you. Apologies again. Now we're going to be putting the LQ and the UQ. So now we're just going to be using a different color. I'm going to use green. Barely used green for some time. So now we have the LQ is 32. LQ is 32, so it's kind of close on the side. So that side is here. We have the UQ, so the LQ is 32. Make a much wider line. So that's 32 here. We have the UQ, which is 85. Now that is in between 80 and 90, so it's around here. So that's 85. The median here is 60. So I'm going to be putting the line straight away right here, and that is 60. Now finally, the box and whisker plot is basically these lines that are attaching to from the lowest from the lowest number to the lowest quartile is the first whisker, and the other line that goes from the upper quartile to the highest number, or actually the greater number or bigger number, is the higher end, is the other end of the whisker. The box is the distance, is the box is the LQ and the UQ, and in between is the median. So it will look, if my lines doesn't look very weird, it will look something like this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a box and whisker plot and a stem and leaf plot for answering the question for the list of the students' marks, the stem and leaf plot and the box and whisker plot for answering of the question for St. Grace students, school students' marks that is given below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to be the awesome Herobrine.